What's up, Dragon Brood? Welcome to our 11th installment of the Kaldheim preview reviews. Today is Friday, January 15th, so we're moving right along. I want to apologize for the last couple of videos. I got my dates mixed up when I was recording. We actually have one more full week of previews before we get the full set list. So I'm going to obviously put off the deck list that we're working on and the streams covering a lot of the set. However, we will still do those whenever that time comes. That being said, if you haven't, please consider liking this video to help more people see these previews, and more importantly, hit that subscribe button because that helps me out a whole lot, especially right now as we are less than, I believe, 175 people away from hitting 10,000 subscribers, so it's very cool. But for now, let's talk about some Kaldheim cards. Alright, so today I want to say I have not even seen most of these cards other than the fact that I know they exist today, so bear with me while we try to get through them. It's been a busy week and a lot of cards. So this is Ascent of the Worthy, colorless, white-black, uncommon Saga. Choose a creature you control until end of your next turn. All damage that would be dealt to creatures you control is dealt to that creature instead. Okay, so this just basically turns a creature into like it's equipped with Pariah. And then return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a flying counter on it. This creature is an angel warrior in addition to its other types. Okay, this card just seems reasonable. I mean, I don't know if it goes into an angel deck other than just like soaking up damage. You can just attack with impunity and not have to leave so much back to block with or something. Does it go into a regular aggressive deck? I mean, is this something that maybe clerics could play as an easy way to get a creature back out of your yard that you may want? Also suck up a lot of damage. I could see that, right? That's a thing you could do with this. So it seems useful, I'm going to say with a question mark. I'll just have to find a home for it first. Litjar Glade Warden, 3 colorless, green, 3/3, changeling. Pay 2 green and tap it. 2 colorless, a green and tap it. Exile a creature card from your graveyard. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature. Activate this ability only when you could activate a sorcery. This is kind of just a neat card. This feels like more limited than constructed to me. I don't know, like, there's already a lot of things that put counters on stuff, and we got another 3 or 4 cards already that put counters on things. I think we're already seeing the, like, max efficiency of adding counters. So paying 4 mana for a 3/3 that has to have something die to do it probably doesn't really work. However, when you're talking about something like, let's say, I don't know, like a party list or something else like that, that may just want some extra firepower after some other creatures have died, and you're playing a largely creature-heavy deck, maybe it has room in something like that. I think it would depend on the rest of the build, and the fact that it's changeling has extra value to that type of list as well. Doomscar Titan, 4 colorless, red, 4/4, giant berserker. When Doomscar Titans enters the battlefield, creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain haste. It has foretell of 4 colorless and a red. So you're not really gaining anything on the foretell cost, right? You're getting to play it for 1 less, but you've also invested 2 more somewhere along the way. So it's a net negative as far as mana goes. It is a 4/4. It does give all your stuff haste, but again, we have this issue of how, like, where's the cutoff point for giants when you're looking at 5, 6, 7 mana? I don't know if this is good enough, but I don't know. Maybe if it's played alongside some wizards, or you have a way to trick it into play, or who knows what. There's maybe a way, but right now I'm putting this one on the outs. All right, this is the translation says Glorious Guardian, 2 colorless, white, creature, angel, cleric, has flash and flying. It's a 3/4. When Glorious Guardian enters the battlefield, exile any number of target non-angel creatures you control until Glorious Guardian leaves the battlefield. This card might just be good in general. I mean, it can, obviously this isn't necessarily made for an angel deck. You can use it for other things, but you could reset a bunch of cards that have ETB triggers, which is cool. You can save a creature that's being targeted by removal. Maybe something, because it says any number, right? So it's not even one of. So it's very possible that this is an additional card for Yorion decks, or maybe it's a way to protect the rest of your creatures from, say, like a Shatter the Sky or something, right? Your opponent goes to Shatter, you cast this, you only lose this 1 card, and then your other, like, 4 creatures come back into play or whatever. So that's another thing you could do with it. So yeah, this card in general seems fine, even if it didn't have like any one of the other issues on it. I'm a big fan of this one. I think this is one that's actually going to see a good amount of play. Finn the Thang Bearer. One colorless, one green, 1/3. Legendary creature, human warrior, death touch. When a creature you control with death touch deals combat damage to a player, that player gets 2 poison counters. Okay. I'm not a big fan of poison. I'm just not. I'm not a big fan of infect. Just not. That said, I have really enjoyed the death touch decks we've gotten to play in standard these past 2 seasons. So, in that regard, I'm pretty excited about this card. I think it's a good filler for that. It gives those decks another way to win. It gives you a 1/3 body, which is a big deal because, you know, size has been a problem in those lists that sometimes you just want something simple to block with. But yeah, overall, the card's actually pretty solid. I don't know if this is the, like, build around card, but it could be. You know, I think it's very possible, especially in the versions we've played that were Jund colors, especially since you're going to have the other pathways possibly to make it a little bit easier, and being able to play the Porky Parrot so then you just ping stuff. Right? Oh no, it says combat damage, so that Porky Parrot doesn't really work. So you actually have to attack. So that actually makes it a little worse, but not by much. I do think you'll see this card, especially for the first couple of weeks, even if the deck doesn't become a, like, top tier player in the format. I think you'll find people trying to mess around with it in some way. All right, this is one that just got previewed. This is the English picture we have, but you know how that goes. This is one that apparently people have known about for a while because it got spoiled. But again, we only cover cards that have been officially previewed. But now we can talk about it. So it's it's Battle Mammoth, 3 colorless, green. Creature, elephant, 6/5, trample. Whenever a permanent you control becomes a target of spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card. Foretell, 2 colorless, green. So you get to play this for 4, get a 6/5, it tramples, gives you a little bit of defense if your opponent tries to kill it. You get some cards, that's pretty nice. It doesn't exchange well with, like, Lovestruck Beast, because that's a 5/5, so that's a little bit disappointing. Though you can play this for 4, so it makes it feel a little better. It's also at 5 mana, though, where you get to play Elder Gargaroth. You get to play Terror of the Peaks. So I think I have to have a specific deck where I want this. Maybe if I'm playing some super mono green aggro something or other, maybe I play 1 or 2 of them alongside some Gargaroths. Like, this is a tough one because the card seems very good, but oddly, it doesn't even feel like a mythic at this point. This feels like this should probably be a rare. I actually want to play this card. I just don't know where it fits in just yet. Even if I'm playing something with trample, Gargaroth has trample. So I'm going to have to really think about this one. I will probably try to find a list for it, but it's going to take me a little more time than you would think, you know, with it being a big green beater. All right, Arnie Slays the Trolls. 1 red, 1 green. And this is for a Saga. Though, anybody who slays the trolls probably don't want to mess with that. That's a bad mother, you know. Chapter 1. Target creature you control fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. Alright, so you play it for 2 and you at least get to fight something right off the bat. Then the second chapter is add a red. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on up to 1 target creature you control. Alright, so you get a mana back. So you have bonus mana on the turn after you play this. And then you get an additional 2 counters on something. Alright, that seems fair. And then you gain life equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. So this is kind of like a broken up Inscription of Ambition, I think is the green card with Kicker from the last set. So maybe, I mean, I like that card, but it's also because it's tricky and instant speed, but this also only costs 2. I would assume you're only going to play this, say, on turn 2 or 3, just to maybe, like, I don't know, pick off your opponent's Innkeeper or something like that. But if you do, let's say you play a turn 1 creature, turn 2 creature, turn 3 this thing, pick off something. Next turn, you now have access to an additional mana, so it could be 4 or 5 mana potentially, and a creature's getting bigger. This card's got to be playable. Like, it's got enough things going for it that even if you just want a fight card, if you're willing to accept it at sorcery speed, you get fight with an upside. So that alone has to give me at least pause when deck building to consider playing it. Well, that was short and sweet today. I think we got through all the important cards that I've seen, at least so far. I'm sure there's going to be more throughout the day. We've kind of hit the point in the season where we're seeing a lot of cards. Again, we'll get around to doing those extra streams so we can talk about all the other cards I want to talk about or deck ideas. And then, not this weekend, but next weekend, I'll start putting out the deck list using cards from this set, and we'll put out a whole series of them. It'll probably end up being like 10 or 12 of them, and that'll lead up to the streamer early access event. So sorry about that confusion again from the last couple of videos. And if you haven't, please remember to like this video to help more people get to see my previews and the work I'm putting in. But more importantly, if you could be so kind and help me out, hit the subscribe button. We're less than 175 people away from hitting 10,000 subscribers by our goal of February 1st. And y'all have been so helpful. Please continue. We're almost there. But that's all I have for you for now. We'll see you next time.